Welcome to A Brush with Art, and welcome to our second Christmas show. I want to show you some little Santa Clauses that my husband and I made one year. Old World Santas or Father Christmas, whatever you want to call them. I decided I wanted to make them, and my husband helped me work out the mechanics on it. We made all of our family members one. Probably made 12 or 15 of them. But each one was different, and most of it was made from scraps and things that we had at home. This one is made from a heavy green velvet. This one is made from a very soft velveteen. And here is a red velvet. And each one is just different. Each one took on their own personality. And let me show you how we did it. We did it using a Santa Claus head ornament that you can get at any shop or store that sells ornaments. Some any kind of fabric that you want to use. I chose some of this nice blanket fabric that you don't even have to hem. That's really going to be convenient. I have some scraps of brown fur I want to use. And also, the body is a 2-liter soft drink bottle with about a cup of sand in it. And this is a coat hanger that is cut and then straightened out and shaped into this shape and put around the top. And then in the bottom of the Santa Claus head had a flat area, so we drilled a hole in it and we glued the bottle cap to it and then put a screw in it. And now we're going to screw the head onto the bottle. And when you get this dressed, the sand is going to help keep it from tipping over, and also the clothes and the weight of all that is going to help too. Okay, for his hands, I got these at the thrift store. They come in a package, 2 little hands, mittens, and 2 little feet. And instead of throwing the feet out, I used the feet on half of them for mittens because only the tip of the mitten is going to show. So that just worked fine. And using a little bit of glue, I just poked a hole in it. Let's see if I can find the hole. And put some glue there and just threaded it onto the hanger. And tried to push it all the way in to the very bottom so it will stay on. Be sure and stay on. Okay, and he's going to move around a lot while we're working on him, but we'll finally get him secured. Put a little bit of glue here. And that's just to help it stay. And then find that hole again. Poke this all the way through to the bottom. Okay, there we go. Now, here is the pattern for the little coat. And very simple. You put this on the fold, you cut 2, you seam it here and here. Or you can hot glue it if you want to. Seaming really works better. But you could do it by hand if you want to, or just on the machine. And this is his hood, and you put this on the fold and cut it, and then you seam it here, and you have a little hood that just kind of makes the whole thing come together. And here is his coat. It's already cut out and seamed. Let me hold that up for you. You can see just how simple it is. And this is some scraps of brown fur that I have. And I'm going to cut it into strips, and I'm going to hot glue it. That's the thing I like about it, is you hot glue most of it. And just glue this all the way around the cuff and also all the way down the front of the coat and all the way around the bottom. And I'm going to do that by just taking the glue gun and gluing about half of it before it dries, and then putting that on the edge of it. Come on around, glue the other half, and put it on, and that will be done. And that will be much quicker than trying to sew it. Just bring that on around. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and finish that. I'm also going to put a row of brown fur around the hood, and the hood is going to look kind of like this. It's a big oversized hood. And what we'll do is we'll put it on him like that, and then we'll turn it back however we need to, and we'll have this big row of fur here. So you can see how that's going to work. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put the fur on the rest of this, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have just about got this all glued on. And can you see how quick it made a darling little jacket with fur all around it? And I just hot glued it. No hemming, no sewing. I want to show you a couple of tips here. After I get it hot glued on, I go back and touch it up here and there where it looks like it might not stick real well. But right here, you know, when you come to a corner, how you meter it or miter it, you don't want to do that on this because it'll be too thick. So you just make a quick cut and join it like this. Let me get my scissors and trim that just a little bit so it'll join a little bit better. Also, what you want to do is when you hot glue it, don't do over 3 or 4 inches of hot glue and then lay it down, and it'll stick immediately. But if you try to do more than that, the hot glue will start drying before you get to it. So I will lay a line right about there. Just lay that down and then finish it out. Get it right down there so it'll stick good. Lay that down, and there we have it. And that's done. Could not be any easier. Okay, here's our little coat. And we're going to make something to go down the front of it so the coat can be open, and that gives it a nice full look. If we close the coat, then it's going to look kind of skimpy, so we don't want to do that. Right here, I'm going to work on that, glue that down so it doesn't show. Now also, on the hood, I put fur on it. And I put the fur on the wrong side. As you can see, here's where my stitching is. Put the fur on the wrong side, and then we're going to turn it to the right side. And when we put it on him, we will turn it back. So then the fur will be right around his face. Let me show you how that works. See, we have fur around his face. And we just put this right over his little hat that he already has. And let's go ahead and clip this off. Okay, there we go. And right now we're going to go ahead and put his little coat on. But first I did want to repair that one place that didn't stick real good. There we go. Got that one. That's it. Okay. And now he's standing here waiting for me to just put his coat on. And get his little gloves in there. And I can come back and glue this one in. Now I want to warn you, they come to life. As you can see him turning his head and helping me dress him. Okay, and here we have the little coat. And you see, making it longer makes it look fuller and nicer. And what I want to do now, I want to make something to go down the front rather than pull the coat up. We want the coat to be able to lay open like that. So I have chosen this piece of black satin because it's something I already had at the house. And rather than go out and just buy something different, I'm going to use what I've got. So I'm going to take it, and the coat can come together at the neck. So I don't need much there, but here I want to cut it in kind of a cone shape. I'm going to come on down and make sure I give it plenty of room in the middle because it's going to come together like that. And I'm just going to glue it at the neck. That out of the glue. Okay. I think I need to move him down. Get his beard out of the way and put a good amount of glue there so that it'll stick good, and get the neck up there. Stick it on there and push it up under his coat. And if we have to, we can glue the coat around the neck and help that stay in so that it doesn't pull out like that. Okay, and we have that in there. And I think right now I am going to go ahead and put some glue on the end and then just push it back in there. I don't do very well with glue guns. I do better with glue pots. Don't get burned as easy. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, and all we do is decide how far down we want it. We want to cut it longer than it needs to be. But we're going to turn that under, and we don't want to get it up short like that. We want it to have a little bit of puddle there. And then we are going to just put some little dots of glue here and come on down. And let's just do that right now. Okay, we're going to put it right on the coat. That way we know it will be on the corner of the coat, and the same with this side. Just close it up around him like that. And I want you to see in the back it's nice and loose. We can pull his hair out. Okay. Okay, now we want to decide where to put the glue right here. We're going to turn that under. We're going to get a little dot of glue on it. Help it stay, and just turn it under right about there. Okay. And then we're going to put a dot here. And let that go there. Same thing over here. Okay, and then I will come back, and we don't want that showing, so we're going to put another little dot here. There we go. And there we go. We got it. Now he's coming around. And then I will put a dot of glue. Just want the ends of his fingers to show, so I'm going to, let me move this around a little bit here. Quit getting tangled up here. Okay. Now I'm going to put a dot of glue. I'm going to pull this down and see how far it'll come, and then just put a little dot of glue there and make sure it comes out to the end. And then do the same thing with this one. Pull this one on out, put dot of glue right about there, pull it to the end. This is why we make the coat nice and big, so we can adjust it like we want to. Now we also want to put a little glue here so you don't see up the sleeves like that. Maybe down low. I think that would look better, and just get a little bit more. Oops. I think I'm out of glue there. And I do have another stick here. Okay, let me get that on real quick. And once you get all your stuff together, this doesn't take long to put together, and you just make it up as you go along, and you'll see when I start accessorizing it that you just make it up. Okay, how is that looking? Is that looking like anything up to now? And we've got some little glasses and put on him. And now the hood. Let's put that on and see how that's going to look. Okay, we're going to put it on like this. And I want to cover up the berries, but I do want to turn it back. And you see, now you can do this any way you want to. You can have it way on the back of his head. You can have it come forward. I like it like that. I think that always looks good. Not quite that far, but okay, we're going to tuck that back. And here's his little hood. And I have fur underneath. I'm just going to kind of turn that up in there, and then his hair comes out. And sometimes I will take something and tie it around his hood. And for this Santa Claus, I think this piece of rope or string is perfect, since he's woodsman looking, and we're just going to tie that around, and you know, I'm going to have this thing done before I know it. And I will trim on his beard a little bit, and kind of, can't really comb it much because it's supposed to be kind of rugged looking, and we're going to let this show because this is going to add to it. Okay, and do you know that that's all there is to it? And you could make it in beautiful velvets and paisleys and silks and satins, or you can make it in burlap. We did do a burlap one, and it turned out beautiful. And felts, or whatever you want to use. Just use your imagination. You can pull that out like that. And now let's embellish him and see what we can do to really make him come alive. Since he's a woodsman, I think I'm going to get out my little box of crafts that I save and see what I've got in them and what I want to use on him. Now, I will adjust this more too and get all my little folds right and everything. Okay, let me get my crafts out and see what I've got here. Well, I do have some pretty glass grapes, but I don't think glass looks good on him because he is very woodsy looking and sporty looking, so I'm not going to use glass on him. I don't think that's a good idea. What else have I got? Well, I've got some little toys that I could make him a little bag full of toys. I could use some kind of felt or something, or a print fabric or something, and make a little bag for him, and I guess a sack is what I'm trying to say, and fill it full of toys. And here's some of the toys I've got. Just all kinds of little things. That looks pretty with the color, doesn't it? And let me see. I don't think that fits him because he's a woodsman. So what have I got here that I could use? Well, this definitely would not work, would it? This is something that might work. This is a little potpourri. Some of the pieces are gone. I can glue new pieces in it. And it is little miniature pine cones. And also some clove in there. It's got a little pink and green flower, but I can pull that off and put something else a little more rugged there and maybe hang that on his arm. That might work. Here's something that might work. This is a little grapevine wreath, and we could put some sporty looking things on that. I think I'm going to leave this and not. What else have I got in here? Let me see. Definitely not that lace. This is something we might could do something with. Even though it's painted gold, it's still kind of rustic looking. Okay, now one other thing. You know, he's got these little berries up here, and even a rose, and we're gonna just leave that rose. I think that looks good anyway. But I wonder if he could be carrying a big bunch of grapes. I think that kind of goes with it, and it also carries out the theme of his dark berries. Yeah, I'm going to play with that a little bit, and I'm going to find something to go on the wreath and hang that on him. And I do think nice little birdhouse fits him. Maybe not this one, but I will round up a red birdhouse. Put a birdhouse on his shoulder and a little bird in it, and see what else I can come up with. Let me round up the birdhouse and some other things, and we'll be right back. You know, once you get all your stuff together and you sort of plan it out, it doesn't take any time. We did this in about 30 minutes, and we're almost done with it. And we're just gonna, I don't want him falling over. Okay, we're just going to decide what kind of accessories we want. I want to leave this showing because this kind of adds to it. I am going to, he just looks like he belongs, doesn't he? I'm going to make him a little satchel to throw over his shoulder and maybe fill it with toys or something. And I made it kind of shallow because I want it to hang over and then be able to see the toys inside of it. So didn't want it to be too deep. And I'm going to just put some hot glue right there and make my seam. Let's see if I can. Okay, like that. And then, let's see, I have some kind of ribbon here. Now, I may have to change this ribbon later, but right now I'm going to try this and see if it's what I want. I think I'll trim that later, too. Okay, it's a piece of burlap. I just cut it into strips, tied it at the top, and I'm going to, not halfway, but about 1/4 of the way, I'm going to glue that down so that it'll just sort of hang behind his back. Put that one there. And then one over here. Okay. Then we're going to just set that aside and let that dry a little bit. Okay. Now let's get back to him. I did find a lot of stuff to go into the bag, a lot of rustic looking stuff. The little heart that I'm going to have to repair. And then I'm going to put this in it. And I think he's perfect for a birdhouse. So I did find the red birdhouse, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. And I will put a dot of glue. Make sure it stays good. I'll just put that on his shoulder. And I have this cute little bird. I'm going to put a dot of glue on him so that he can, ouch, sit. Okay, sit in here and stay. I'm not a glue gun person, but I don't know what I'd do without it, so to live with that. Here we go. Get him in there so he'll stay. Okay, now what else do we want? We want to put the little bag behind his shoulder. We're going to have to put it over like this and then turn it around and back because we want that to be behind him. And I forgot to glue the bottom of it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And just put some little dots of glue here. That'll work. It doesn't even have to be closed because the things in it will be big enough that they won't fall through. Okay, there's his little satchel. And then we want it to kind of be open, so we're going to put some heavy stuff in it to open it up a little bit. And I think I'll put this in it because this is heavy. Yeah, now it's starting to look like something. And then let's put some little gifts in it just to make him look more like Santa Claus. Little tiny gifts. We'll use little ones and we'll put a whole bunch so that it'll look like he's got a nice big sack full. Okay, now that's going to be good. I'm going to clip all these little things off. This is for miniature tree ornaments, so we don't want those on there. Clip that off, okay. Well, I hope that you're thinking of a good idea to do, something that would be your own idea and just using stuff you've got at home. Now, I do want to put his grapes, sling that kind of across his arm like that. I like the color and I like the way it looks and everything. Let's see, what else was I going to do? I have a little pine cone here that I like. It's just a little miniature cone, and then I have this little wreath, and I'm going to clip that and glue the little pine cone to it. And this time I'm going to put the glue on the wreath instead of on my finger. I'm going to use a toothpick to do that from the glue pot there. Much better. We'll just stick that little pine cone on there. We'll just put that over his arm. Thread it through. And I add to it quite a bit, and sometimes I change it all around, and sometimes I take things off of one and pass them around, and you want to keep your sand level in there so they don't fall off. Okay, now he is just about done, at least for now, until I decide to change him, and he needs a little walking stick, so we're going to put this right back here. Get his sack behind him. Okay, put that right there. Now, he needs something on that walking stick. Maybe some berries. I think I'll put some berries on it. Ah, perfect. Here we go. This will work even better. I'm going to wrap this around the stick. I think I would like that. And there's so many kinds of woodsman Father Christmases that you can make. You can make the one that brings a big string of fish behind his shoulder and loaves of bread and all of that. And let's just put that right back in there. There we go. And I think he's finished for the time. Let's look at him and see what we've got. Okay. We have the berries, and then we have his walking stick covered with berries, and we have the fur around his coat, and I need to repair that a little bit. Have this wreath and his little birdhouse. I think that we could use some leaves in that birdhouse, and this is perfect right here. Just a little Christmas ornament, and we're going to stick it in behind the bird. Bend this out, and okay, and there we have it. And I hope that you'll try a brush with art, and I hope you'll try a Father Christmas. Thanks for joining me, and Merry Christmas to everyone.